And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roll Sickle. I, of course, am Nathaniel, one of the hosts here. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, and Ashley. Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
All right, we're here. We're making a little bit of a different... It went off of it! Ah! All right, we're making a little bit of a different video here where we are... We've done something like this before where we talked about the... we talked about draft decks.
We did.
And then we did a video like this, I think, when we talked about the decks that we're upgrading.
Yes,
so this is actually, I think, the third time we're making a video like this. But we recently went to the game store that I work at and did a pre-release. It's the first ever in-person, true, proper, sealed tournament pre-release that I've ever attended with, we've bought our own pre-release kits and done, like, a little sealed game before. At least, like, 2 or 3 times.
A couple times down.
And... we'll sometimes just buy 6-packs each and do a sealed, but we've never done a pre-release of like, oh, the set's not even actually out yet. Everyone's excited. Everyone's talking about the new cards. In this case, everyone's talking about like the cheese-colored cards. That's the PG way to say it.
Yeah.
That Aetherdrift comes with. But, realistically, honestly, I'll be so honest with you. I have not followed Aetherdrift like at all.
Nope. No,
have not really been
it.
following the set at all.
It's been terrible.
I find a balance of because personally... when I go back like 5 years or something like that, or more, when I was into Magic, the first time, sort of second time, but the first time that I was kind of into it and had like a job, or at least close to a job so I could make some money and I could buy packs and stuff, like I was never hardcore into it knowing what was coming out of a set, which was cool to me because I could open a pack and I wouldn't know what was in it, right? Like I could read every card and be surprised. So I ride this weird line now of playing enough Magic that I should be informed. Like I should be informed. It is better off if I am informed. But I enjoy opening a pack and getting to go, what do all these cool cards do? Rather than, say, Foundations now, where there is no card I'm going to open and not know what it does. There is not a single card in that set that I don't know.
Exactly.
So it's sort of a balance between like riding those two lines. And I think finally I'm going to say soon I'm going to have to be at that point where I just have to sort of say, the excitement of new cards will come when I look them up and I need to just stay informed because wanting to be better at limited and wanting to be better at draft and that sort of thing just sort of requires that you're informed, and then wanting to sort of break into the constructed field, which, oh wait, we made a whole video about upgrading decks, so we want to start breaking into that constructed field, also requires you to be knowledgeable about the cards that are going on. If we ever take that further and want to branch into like standard or other formats, you need to know what cards are in those formats. So
it's also helpful for us to know the cards in the format before they come out, or right as they're coming out, so that we can actually make content for you guys on
that's also
the
fair.
Set when the set comes out.
Exactly. So like when all the cards are announced like 2 weeks before pre-release and everyone else is making their set review videos, we want to be able to get those videos out for you guys.
Absolutely.
If you guys see an Aetherdrift set review video, it's obviously going to be after the set comes out or right around when the set comes out, because we haven't recorded it yet and we're recording this less than a week before the set comes out. But a lot of people's set reviews came out 2 weeks ago or something like that, because that's when the set was actually spoiled. So you have to find the balance. But if you do see a set review within the next week or two, that's way sooner than you saw it for Foundations. So we're in the right direction, because the Foundations one was way after the set.
It was pretty late
in December. It was more of like a set, like looking back impressions than it was like a looking forward review. Anyways, okay, so we just wanted to talk about the decks that we built at pre-release. So this is my, what I was calling at the store, Simic Do Nothing deck.
Which is a wild thing to say. Given what place did you get out of 11?
I got first.
Yeah,
sorry. I had to think about what you actually asked. I did. I won the pre-release, which made me really happy. It made me really happy to... there is someone at the store that is very good at Magic. His name is Tyler. Tyler, if you ever see this, love you. You're great, but you're very good at Magic.
Yes.
And I did not think I was going to be able to beat him. I did manage to by a little luck on my side, a lot of unluck on his side, and some good playing from both of us, all things considered. But I just got luckier than him, which probably helps. I would say there's a skill gap, and I would say that skill gap leans more heavily in his direction than mine, but there is still luck to Magic, and the luck leaned more heavily to mine and was able to make up for it. So, hey, I got first place. But either way, I was probably securing top 3. So,
he absolutely was, and y'all, he absolutely killed it.
Absolutely. So this is my, again, Simic sort of do-nothing deck, but that's not it. Anyways, I don't know how to pronounce this guy. His name's like Vinwixt or something like that. I don't know.
It's all consonants. Vinwixt. It's not proper English.
Verbose host, Vinwixt. I'm going to go with Vinwixt because I like that
I couldn't tell you.
So one of the mechanics of this set is start your engines, and he doesn't really do much until you have start your engines and you have max speed. He does give you no maximum hand size, and he's just a body on the field that helps prevent your opponents from getting max speed because they have to hit you, and a 0-4 is a pretty good defender. Exactly. But really, you want to play this out and get max speed because then anytime you would draw a card, you would draw 2 cards instead. And I sort of leaned on this guy with what I want to say is sort of a draw card slash... what are these called? Mounts? Is that what it's called? Mount theme is sort of what I went for here. So we have some mounts that are pretty good because I find mounts to be better than vehicles in the sense that I don't have to crew them just to be creatures. No. They just get an extra benefit when I crew them. So yeah, ran this guy. I mean, all things considered, a 4/4 Vigilant for 5 is pretty solid in draft already, or I guess sealed. Limited. Well, limited covers everything. And then if you saddle it for 1, which saddle 1 is super easy to do, it becomes a 6/6 with Vigilance, which is pretty good. A 5/5 body that makes a 3/3 when it enters for 6 is just always going to be played. Like, this uncommon should always be played if you're in green. And then if you manage to saddle it, you're getting even more bodies out of it, but you already got an 8/8 for 6. Yeah, that's that, or 8/8 worth of power and toughness for 6. Yeah, that's totally worth it. This guy I ran solely because, 1, he's a 2-drop, and 2, he is able to fetch me some cards, permanents, right? So if I need to just desperately look for something, I can pay 5, look at the top 3 cards in my library, reveal a permanent card, put it in my hand. Yep. This guy is in here because he costs 1 less for each artifact I control, and I decided that later on, like, I'm running enough artifacts, not a ton, but enough that it was worth it to just have another big body that I could get out. Plus, I can spend mana, make him unblockable, and I got some serious damage through by doing that. This thing was solely a body, but it does have a way for me to draw a card. So again, a little bit of a mount theme, get to big body theme, which we'll get to the other card in this deck that I wanted to just get to the late game for. And then a little bit of a draw card theme. This guy just exhausts to get a little bit bigger, but he can give my creatures trample. So knowing that I was going to have some bigger boys, thought that was pretty good. This guy just has a decent exhaustibility. Oh, wait, draw a card, then discard a card. But if I have my other dude out, it's now draw 2, discard 1, which is a big benefit, right? So not to mention 2/3 Vigilance that can become a 3/4 Vigilance is just, again, playable. Never put him down and didn't think anything good. Molt Tinder was pretty good. It's sort of a mana dork, but it's a you got to work around this bad boy. I would have much preferred just like a Llanowar Elves, but you know what? It works. It can get mana. You just have to put in the extra work. This guy makes a Thopter when he enters, which is pretty good for the saddling, especially like saddle 1. And it's an artifact. So again, like my artifact thing from earlier, this guy's decent. I think that he's just always going to be playable because generally speaking, when you're doing these limited formats, if you have something that when it hits, you get to go return a land to your hand, it's pretty good because you're basically, you're drawing, but you're also drawing sort of specifically a land. Now in this case, you have to mill a couple cards, but it's really not the end of the world. Spike Shell Harrier is just pretty decent. I think, 5 mana, 4/4 that bounces something is pretty good, and it can reduce their speed if that matters. We've already looked at Vinwixt, who's just incredible. I had some games where I probably would have only drawn 6 or 7 cards, and I drew 12 or 14
That's crazy.
Because of having this guy out, and them not being able to get rid of it. Even if you've drawn 3 or 4 cards, because this counts as your draw for turn, and then any card you draw on top of that. But 3 or 4 cards while he has maximum speed, you've just gone from 3 or 4 cards to 6 or 8 cards. That was totally worth it. Web Strike Elite really didn't do a whole lot, but his cycling ability does let you take out an artifact or enchantment if there's one that's just really bugging you. And not to mention a 2-drop 3/3 reach if you manage to get the double forest, which is pretty hard, but if you manage to, by turn 2, this is just going to really slow your opponent down. I ran Plow Through to simply be removal because I have like no removal in this deck. Stall Out is, again, just a type of removal, but not really. It just stuns it for a while. But I usually could, like I played an aggro deck, a like white, black, and blue, I think it was, aggro deck. I don't know. It's what.
Whose deck?
I think his name's Nick. Nick, have you ever seen this? No.
Oh, History Dude.
Yeah, the History
Yeah, he played white, blue, and black.
He played white, blue, and black.
Too.
Like
he was good.
He played white, blue, black, aggro, and I was like, I need to slow that down, and that's what I did, and I was able to usually win. I had a bounce here, simply Let's see. I played this because it's good for my mounts because I could saddle them for mana rather than having to tap other creatures. And when it enters, I draw a card. If I have him out, when it enters, I draw 2. That's pretty good. I did run double Hull Drifter. Now, of course, I didn't have this printing, but I ran double, like, normal Hull Drifter here because I ran it under the assumption that when it enters, I draw 2 cards, which is pretty good. But if it enters when I have the guy out, I draw 4, which is insane. But realistically, 5 mana, draw 3 for it's not even a creature, right? It's a 3/2 flyer that you have to crew to even become a creature. Probably should have only played one of them, but I was limited in the green-blue options I had, so I basically had to go for it. Possession Engine, again, had the normal art here, but I hate to see that it's such a cheap card because it's such a powerful card. When it enters, you just
before the set actually
gain
releases.
Control of target creature. Yeah, but it's not going to go up more than likely. So, you just get to gain control of that creature. Now, you don't get to attack or block with it, which I understand is probably why this card is not really worth that much, because 5 mana gain control of a creature that you don't actually get to attack or block with isn't that great.
No,
but
it's just sitting there.
I mean, if they have a good passive effect, that's incredible. And in limited, it's insane because this is just like an auto 2-for-1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You can use them to crew it, which I think is sort of the idea, right? Is that as long as it has 3 power, you can use it to crew this. Ranger's Refueler was pretty decent because whenever you activate an exhaust ability, you draw a card. So all of those exhaust abilities I had before, if I have that dude out, Vinwixt, I'm drawing an additional card. So pretty good stuff there. Plus, this exhaust ability is just pretty decent. It becomes a 4/4 creature always, and you draw a card. Pretty decent. Max speed, this one it's just a mana rock, but if you have max speed, you can tap it, sack it to draw 2 cards, discard a card. But I did manage to do this at max speed, because you have to have max speed, with Vinwixt out, and now it's tap it, sack it, draw 4, discard 1. That's so good. And yes, I will say the last card here, other than a couple of lands that I never used the abilities of, I just used these as lands, if I'm being so honest. Actually, I might have paid 3 tap, discard a card, and drawn a card off of this one maybe at once. But was to get to the big hit, the only big hit that I hit for this, and I do think I don't know. I don't know if I had the full art or the normal one, but it doesn't really matter. March of the World Ooze, which is a really powerful card that just says creatures you control have base power and toughness 6/6 and are oozes in addition to their other types. So one of the times that I was up against that aggro deck, I did indeed just take as much damage down to like 3 or 4 to just get a board of like 6 creatures and then play this and be like, is that game? Yeah, that was game. Because he left back like 1 defender. So I was like, that's 30 damage coming your way. I win, but barely, and I mean barely. But yeah, that's sort of the deck. It did things. It just did it. It's definitely not the strongest Aetherdrift deck I could have ever built, but I'm pretty proud of it considering I hadn't really read or seen much of any of the cards.
Yeah,
so Vinwixt, very broken, very broken. But I don't know how powerful he'd be in Constructed because you do have to get that max speed, but I think he's probably still a very playable card.
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
All right. Ashley's going to take us away and talk about hers.
Woo.
So you can use the mouse pad or you can use the mouse if you want. Trackpad, mouse, doesn't really matter.
Dropped it.
And I did not get to play against her in pre-release.
No, so he's never really
I get to sort of hear about her deck from her perspective.
Welcome. Here. This is my deck. I no longer have this card. I traded it for a better card because I could.
That's true.
I played. Is anyone shocked? Selesnya.
Yep.
No one's shocked.
No one
Not
is
a
shocked
soul.
about that. Yeah, no.
Not a single soul.
Mm-mm.
Anyways, welcome to my deck. We focused on mounts and vehicles. Are you trying to steal my armrest?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have one.
No, it's fine. You can't. I just all of a sudden your arm was there.
No, it's okay.
Anyway, sorry, y'all. No. Sure.
I'm okay.
Anyways.
I'm okay. Continue.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna start from the bottom because I want to save that bad boy for last.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to the deck. Like I said, mounts, vehicles, those things. That's what we focused on. This is Walking Sarcophagus. Start your engines.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that does. At max speed, it gets +1/+2, so it makes it a 3/3.
Yep.
It's a 2 cost. It's not terrible. It just exists. Realistically, I think the one time I played it, I had max speed.
Yeah.
So
That's
I never
good.
played out as a 2/1.
So playing it out as a 2-drop 3/3 is pretty good. It's
Yeah.
it's like I feel like it's a synergy card, right? Because like it's an artifact for the artifact synergies. It has max speed for the max speed synergies. It's a cat for the cat synergies. You know, so
Yeah.
like in your deck you can probably slot it in if you're running either of those 3 synergies because it'll help you get there.
Exactly.
Even if you play it as a 2/1, it can get your speed starting early, right? Because you don't actually start accumulating speed even if you do damage to people until you've played something that says start your engines. So that's where, like, in Constructed, it might be a little bit more difficult to play, like, Vinwixt or whatever, because you're probably not
Pulling him
acclimating speed until you play him.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why he might be a little bit tougher, but I still think he's very playable.
But anyway. Alright, Veteran Beast Rider. This is one of the cards that just pulled me into Selesnya. There's 2 cards that just went, maybe we should play this. This is Veteran Beast Rider. It's a human knight. It's a 1 and a green and a white. At the beginning of your end step, untap each creature you control. Just for fun. Just untap them.
Just untap. This is a great card.
It is. I love this card.
This is a phenomenal card.
It is.
3 mana, 3/4 that gives everything pseudo vigilance and can buff your creatures.
Yeah. You can swing out and still go, but wait, I have blockers. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. Anyways, you can also pay a little bit. Creatures you control get +1/+1 on the turn. Then we have Venom Sac. I don't know how to say the second word. Don't even ask. I don't know. Lagak. I don't know. It feels weird to say that. It's a what?
No.
It's a 1 and a green. It's a lizard mount. Notice the synergy. We're coming here. Okay, great. Death Touch. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it gets +0/+3 till end of turn. Saddle 2. It's a 2/1, so that makes it a 2/5. Basically, it's just gonna
2/4, but yes.
You're right. It's a 2.
It's all good.
It's fine. Anyways.
Not one that I guess we're too worried about saddling. I mean, if they have like a 1/1 and you want to be able to attack with it, but then not just like eat it with a 1/1, that part's nice. But really, I would hang stuff with Death Touch on defense, right? Because now they're not going to swing your 8/8 at you because you could just kill it with a Death Touch.
Exactly. Anyways, so then I had Swiftwing Assailant. Oh, come on. Flying, start your engines. Love that mechanic. At max speed, this creature gets +0/+1 has vigilance, so it just makes it a little harder for them to like kill, and gives it vigilance. So like you can just have it for both. Like if you have an opponent who's playing flying, you're able to not only swing at them, but you're also able to block.
Yeah, and I imagine as a flyer, it's probably pretty good at getting the speed up because you're probably gonna hit them unless they have good blocking, but still.
Yeah. Okay, Stampeding Scurryfoot. This is the thing that I used to just...
They're so cute.
It is. I have 2 of them. It's fantastic. I love this card. It's adorable. You just play it, and then you start... What did I use? What did I start crewing? I know which one. We're getting there. Anyways, there's a mount that you just start... It has, like, mount 1 or something.
Is it the green-white one coming up?
Yes.
Oh, that's such a good combo.
Oh, my God.
That's such a good combo.
So, in my very last game, I placed, what? 6th?
You mean like in the tournament?
Yeah.
Something like that. 6 or 7.
I played 6 or 7. So, middle of the pack.
Pretty good, though.
My last game, so I had a bye because we had 11 people. So, I had a bye. So,
in fact, actually really good for a bye because you could have lost the game, but you also could have won it.
Exactly. So, I lost. I got in total 3 wins.
Basically, were forced to draw.
3 losses. So, in my last, round, is what it's called, I played someone who... In the game, I just kind of kept... I have 2 of these in my deck. I pulled one out, turn 1, brought out Lagrin, turn 2.
That's a pretty tough
Started saddling.
That's a pretty tough turn 1, turn 2.
Well, and then pretty quickly, I exhausted this bad boy, put some +1, I put a +1/+1 counter on it, and created a 3/3 green elephant. Mm-hmm. And then you know what happened next turn? The second Stampeding Scurryfoot came out.
Nice.
So then I could just, no matter what, I had something to saddle this. Anyways, we'll get back to that one. But yeah, this was a pretty good card. I love this card. I would definitely be putting this in a deck somewhere, somehow. I don't know. When I can, I will.
It's tough in a constructed deck, but...
It is, but it's so cute.
But maybe
I'm
for
so
flavor.
Excited for, draft and stuff.
You can make a mouse deck,
This is my new...
I don't know.
You guys were probably wondering. I know you were also curious. What's the new cat? Like my little helpful hunter for foundations? This is the cat.
Stampeding Scurryfoot.
This is the thing he's not allowed to talk bad about. Or not taking any
I think
draft.
it's a good creature. It's a
so cute.
It's a good 1-drop.
It is. Okay, I also played Pothole Mole, just like him. When this creature enters, mill 3 cards, then you may return a land card from your graveyard to hand. I was a little worried about getting a little, like, mana screwed. Kind of. I wanted to always make sure that I had, because I do have one card that's double green, and I do have just some that are just, like, white. So I always wanted to make sure that I had the mana I needed, but I did play a very cheap deck. Like, if you guys are looking at this, like, the most expensive card I have is 5.
Yeah, and I don't even know if there's a 4. There's two
4s. I played a very cheap deck.
You did play pretty cheap.
It was so fun, though. That was the best part. Because I tend to get mana fucked. Mana screwed? Sorry. I tend to get mana screwed. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. I deeply apologize. I'm sorry. Anyways, I tend to struggle with mana. I don't know. Magic doesn't like me very much. It likes to not give me my lands. So then I end up like, well, I don't have any lands to play these big things. So I played a cheap deck. Fair. So Pothole was really great for that because I get a land back.
Nesting Box also really good. Sorry.
We're getting there. I also always... There was always a land in my graveyard. I was always milling at least 2 lands, so I got to at least get one of those back. Then we move on to Nesting Bot, which is a really good card. It start your engines. When this creature dies, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. And max speed, this creature gets +1/+0, so it bumps up to a 2/1. Honestly, it's pretty good. It's just a good thing to saddle with, realistically, because it's a 1/1. To me, I thought it had flying. I'm not gonna lie, like low-key in my brain, I thought it had flying at one point. Because the picture
kind of
shows
gives them
them
a little bit.
Flying.
Yeah. It was hovering.
Yeah, like, let's be real. Anyways, that's fine. It's my one qualm about the card is that it's not actually flying, but the art shows them flying. Whatever. I have 2 of these. Lotus Guard Disciple. This is a really good card. I'm not gonna lie. This is pretty good. Because it's flying, and whenever this creature enters, target creature or vehicle gains lifelink and indestructible until the turn. And it's a 2/2. It's also only a 3 cost. So basically, I think I did this one time. I played my big creature. He was ready to go. I was about to attack with him. So I pulled out one of my Lotus. I just happened to have a Lotus Guard Disciple in my hand. Played it, gave it lifelink and indestructible, and just swung it. And it worked out for me pretty well. But I had 2 of these in the deck, so it was really nice to like kind of almost always have something. It did suck a couple times I pulled it. It was my only creature in hand, so I did have to play it. I didn't have anything to like give lifelink or indestructible to, or I had like a vehicle that I couldn't crew because you have to, your thing can't have summoning sickness in order to crew a vehicle. So that was kind of something I ran into. And then we already kind of talked about this one, but this is Lagarin, Soul of Alacria. Alacria. I don't know. I can't read that far. Flying whenever it attacks, while saddled, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target mounts and or vehicles. Notice how it doesn't say you can't put them on itself.
You're supposed to put it on itself.
Exactly. In that game where I kept just saddling with my mouse, this bad boy was massive.
You do need some other mounts to benefit off of it, but
we've got like mount. We've got a couple more coming up. Don't worry. Alright, this is Greenbelt Guardian. He had this in his deck as well. Target creature gains trample until the turn. Exhaust, put 3 +1/+1 counters on this creature. I never saw this card. I don't think I ever saw this card. I'm gonna be honest.
It's not
Or
crazy.
I never played it out. Like, I just played it out literally just to have something to, like, block. So, I never really used it for any of its stuff. Then we have Brightfield Mustang. I have 2 of these. Whenever it's a mount. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, untap it and put a +1/+1 counter on it. So basically you're getting Pseudo Vigilance when it attacks saddle. Because you're tapping to attack, but then it does say, whenever this creature attacks while saddled, untap it. So then you're getting untap and you're adding that +1/+1 to it before it actually attacks. Nice. So you're getting an extra little in right before blockers. Saddle 1. So it was another thing that, like, if I had this, I didn't actually pull any of these in that game, but if I would have had my mouse out, or my nesting bot, that's a super easy saddle. It's saddle 1. It's also a 4 for 3. And as soon as you saddle it, you're getting to put +1/+1s on it. So I had 2 of those. That was a really good thing to have. Beastride Vanguard he also had. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library anywhere. I never did this. Literally never used it for its ability. I think I pulled it once. Maybe. I don't even know if I played it. I did see it, but I never actually used its ability for anything. I was kind of just trying to put cards together at a certain point, and I didn't have enough of any color that I wanted to put in here.
Yeah.
Now this is my favorite one.
That makes sense.
This was the pain in the butt for everyone.
Ooh.
Aganosaur Rex. It is 2 green and 3 more. It has trample. It's cycling. And whenever you cycle this card, put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature or vehicle. It gains trample and indestructible until end of turn. That's great. But do you also know how great it is to have a 5-cost 8/8 with trample?
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
It's freaking amazing.
That's a very
This won
card.
me games.
Yeah.
Because I'm just sitting there with like, I pull this bad boy out for 5 because I tap a 5 and you're like, okay, great. They might be pulling out like a 5/5 or something like that, or maybe a 4/5 with some like cool text. No.
8/8 with trample.
8/8 trample. Come at me. See what happens. Won me games. Like one guy actually scooped when I pulled it out.
Wait, really?
I think it was Nick. I think he scooped on the one game that I won. Because we were already pretty close in life, and I played this, and he pulled his next card.
And he was like, yeah.
And he knew he couldn't remove it. And we were close enough that he was like, I'm probably also not going to pull it in the next hand. Let's just go to the next game. Because we ended up playing. He won 1, I won 1. So we had to go to the third game. So he was like, we'll just go to the third game. So that's what we did. This card, amazing. If I ever have a deck to put it in, it's going in. It's going to be great. I love this card. I can't wait. I need to pull this card more. And I also played Plow Through just because, in case you guys are wondering, do you see I have 16 creatures? And 1 sorcery and 2 instants and 1 enchantment? There's no removal in this fucking deck.
Well, there is. That's what Plow Through's there for.
This is the removal.
Well, to be fair, in green, it's usually going to be a fight. Like, that's usually...
Yeah,
it's
but
either
still,
going to be a fight or it's
this
going
is
to be
the
a
removal.
punch.
It's a 40-card deck. This is the removal.
Well, and the punch. That's right next to it.
Oh, this one? Yeah, I played this one wrong, but we're going to get there.
The punch is actually better.
But yeah, anyways, I played this one. I did use it to, I did destroy target vehicle at one point. I was like, no thank you, this is terrible. Yeah, it's a good card. I also had Gallant... Okay, we're just ready to run over because it said not to click on Gallant Strike. So run over this spell, costs 1 less to cast if it targets a mount or vehicle you control. So basically, if the thing that you're gonna hit somebody with, or, could deal damage equal to whatever, you pay 1 less. You only pay green for it.
It's a strictly better bite down. Because it's bite down, but cheaper if it targets a mount or a vehicle.
And that worked for my deck. But then also, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. In that same game with our buddy Nick. Yeah, I read this card wrong. Thought I could destroy a vehicle. I did. I don't know. Brain was not functioning. It was rough. You guys, I totally said I did it, and he went, wait. And I went, you're so right. Let's play like I never did that. So, read your cards, people. Read your cards. Read them carefully. But there's also, like, mount and vehicle. And there's just so much targeting and mount and vehicle and creature that I went... My brain just got all mixed up. I also played Gallant Strike. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Cycling 2. I cycled this card.
Okay.
Flat out cycled
You do
it.
have 3 different removal there, though. Albeit all sort of...
Not...
The best one is Run Over.
It is.
Yeah.
But I did just cycle this card. I didn't feel... It was just... Yeah, it wasn't... Wasn't great. Anyways, I played Guide Light Matrix. Just like he did. I don't think I ever actually did anything with it. Oh, I got it to draw a card.
I mean, when it enters, it draws a card.
I never used it for anything else. And then I also had Spot Cycle Scouter. It's crew 1, so once again, you're just over here using, like, Nesting Bot, if the mouse will work, and Stampeding Scurryfoot. Like, you're just using these, like, little things that you already have to just crew this. And then, great. I got to scry 2 when it entered.
Yeah. That's also, like, as
amazing.
soon as you play it, that's a pretty good effect.
It was awesome. Outside Veloheart Bike, when this vehicle enters, you gain 2 life, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color, and it's crew 2. It's a 3-drop for 4. It's a 3-drop 4/2. It's really not that bad. It's also nice that you can kind of mana fix if you need to.
Yeah, I mean, a 3 mana rock is already playable if you need the mana rock, and then this one just gains you life and can be a creature if you need it.
Exactly, to be. It's awesome.
It's pretty good.
So the artifacts I played. My enchantment was Light Wheel enhancements. Sorry. Enchant creature or vehicle. Start your engines. Enchant a permanent gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. And then max speed, you may cast this card from your graveyard. I had max speed at one point, so it was really nice because I lost to this, so I was able to go back and get it. And then I played Night Market.
Oh, yeah.
The land enters tapped as it enters.
What's better than an Aganosaur Rex and Aganosaur Rex with +1/+1 and Vigilance?
What's funny is I never had them at the same time, which was so sad.
That's only 6 mana to get a 9/9 with Vigilance.
Literally.
And Trample, sorry.
Vigilance and Trample. Of Rample.
Should be noted. And if you're facing a 9/9 with Vigilance and Trample, you're going to have max speed real quick. But you might not get there before your opponent's dead.
Yeah. And then I also played M1K Raceway. Start your engines. Add a colorless. At max speed, target creature gains haste until end of turn. I think that this is the one that people are saying is kind of the best one out of all the colorless lands that you can get.
It can be.
Because you can give anything haste. You want to know what I gave haste? This.
Aganosaur Rex.
People were not happy.
That's pretty good. Yeah, if you have 6 mana
I'm just saying.
To cast it, essentially.
Yep.
Pretty good stuff.
It's fantastic. It's great. You guys. This is such a good deck. I really love this deck, though. I think that we might actually end up eventually playing these two against each other.
Oh, that's true. We totally
Because we have not played them against each other.
I didn't think about that.
We did not get paired up. Which is fine. We wanted to play against other people anyways. We were there.
All right, what's your favorite card?
My favorite card out of my deck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, baby.
The Aganosaur?
This.
Aganosaur? I don't know how you say it. Nice.
8/8 triple.
Least favorite card? Card that did nothing. First cut if you had to cut something.
Oh my god, first cut. This fucking shit. This.
That one?
No, this.
The Death Touch?
Y'all. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Because unless you saddle it and attack with it, it's a 2/1. So no matter what you're death touching, it dies.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the +0/+3 is only until end of turn. So, like, it's literally only if it's attacking.
I still think it's playable, but
You
have good cards.
It's just not that great. Like, there are better things. Handing over the mouse so he can show you his.
All right. Favorite card flavor-wise has to be March of the World. Favorite card function-wise is going to be Vinwixt because he won me the games. There's no arguing about that.
I'm down.
Excuse me. Least favorite card that just should not have been in, or at least definitely 2 of them should not have been in, is probably Holdrifter.
That's so fun.
Just 5 mana draw 2 is not good enough. And realistically, unless you have a way to crew this becomes 5 mana draw 2. And it's just... I got excited because it had the chance to be 5 mana draw 4, which is really good. But I should not have let that, because too often did I have these, but not this guy out or whatever.
Yeah, so, exactly. It just happens that way.
Yeah, I just don't know if they're as playable as I had hoped. All right, well, I think that'll do it
for you for Aetherdrift to actually come out? How excited are we feeling?
I used to be at maybe like a 4 out of 10, just because Aetherdrift did not look interesting at all. I think that there are some fun mechanics and some cool things. It's definitely still not my speed.
I'm
so funny. It's definitely still not my speed. It's definitely not necessarily the theme that I'm most behind. But I think it actually lands a little bit higher than like grotesque horror does of like a Dustmourn style to me, which really did not land with me either. Or maybe at least I put them pretty hand in hand. I think all in all, I could learn to love this one a little bit more because despite the racing theme, there are some pretty cool cards like March of the World Ooze or Vinwixt that just don't necessarily have too much to do with racing that I can kind of just forget in my head that there's a racing theme at all.
Exactly.
Play some cool dinosaurs and mammoths and stuff like that don't have a whole lot to do with racing. But the vehicle mechanic is definitely something I have to get used to, so it probably lands now maybe at like a 6 out of 10 excitement. But it's on the rise, which is important. How about you?
I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I wasn't excited for this at all. I was at like a 1.
Wow.
It was terrible. I was like
least excited set. Would rather play Dustmourn 10 times than have to play Aetherdrift once.
I don't know. I don't like either of them. They're both really
that's
like
fair.
A
Dustmourn is pretty low on
her.
her.
Like
Dustmourn's pretty low.
I don't love horror. Period. End of story. I also didn't love.
But next to Bloomborough, but it looks like garbage.
Yeah. I used to love watching racing as a kid, but like
really?
I watched NASCAR with my dad every weekend.
Nice.
Like constant.
Nice.
We would sit down and watch the whole race. Anyways, that was my childhood for a long time. So I wasn't very excited for this. I just know how they were gonna do it. It doesn't feel as magic-y, in my opinion. Like, the whole racing thing just doesn't feel very, like, oh, magic. It feels very, like, trying to get more people interested in it, which I get. I 100% get. But it does feel, especially with the other sets coming out this year, it just feels very pandery to, like, get new people into it who maybe aren't interested in, like, real good magic that feels like magic. In my humble opinion. So, you know, I'm definitely more excited right now. Like, we played with other people. Like, we did a pre-release. I'm definitely more excited. I'm excited for it to come out on Arena, I think, tomorrow when we're recording this.
Yeah.
I am excited for it. It does seem pretty cool. I will definitely be drafting it on Arena. I'll be watching him draft it on Arena. So I'm more excited
Road to
for
Mythic's
it.
coming back, baby.
Yeah, no, it will be. Don't worry. There hasn't been anything good on Arena.
We've
It's
recovered. Well, okay, that's not true, but we've missed some ones that are good. First of all, Outlaws of Thunder Direction's fine. I just didn't feel comfortable enough jumping into that format with only a week to really dive into it. March of the Machine is a great format that I never drafted. I wasn't around playing when that came out. So realistically, give it another like year, and the year-old formats will be like Foundations, Aetherdrift, Murders at Karlov Manor, these things that I did get a chance to draft, and I'll be excited to play them again.
Exactly.
But
you know, truly, I think I'm sitting at like a 5 now for this, 5, 6. Okay. Like, we have some more
so you're up there with me.
Coming that we're excited to open.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I feel good.
I'm excited to
I feel better
dive
about
in. Aetherdrift has pleasantly surprised me.
Yes. Same.
Whereas I would say that I had more hope for Dustmorn, and it disappointed me a little bit. Whereas this I had almost no hope for, and because of that, it has sort of pleasantly surprised me.
It's amazing. It seems great.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it does seem like a fun format. I wish we just got another Foundations level format. Like, that was just Magic themed. Just Magic. It's fine. We're never going to have just Magic themed again, ever, really. I mean, the closest we'll probably get this year is Tarkir, because that is just a Magic realm.
It's Magic.
And it's just going to be cool dragons and sorcerers and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that. I'm very excited. All right, well, I think that'll do. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Leave a comment down below. What was your favorite card from both of our decks? What was your least favorite card from both of our decks? What would you change? What would you change, etc. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because it really does mean the world to us. It really does. We'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, may the rolls be ever in your favor, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Bye, y'all.